Hey there, this is Pastor Robert here, and I'm so glad you joined me here for this COG Equity minicast, a mini podcast. Just going to ask you a few questions here. Coming up on July 14th, the Church of God Florida COCO office will be having their annual youth camp. There you see it down there below, Youth Camp Mount Up. And it's actually kind of funny because they're going to be uh, having skate day and water day and kingdom day and all these other kind of days. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget that there is an issue with the water. You see that sign right there? You see that sign right there? It says water unsafe to drink. That was taken a week ago from today. Look at the pool. I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Look at the pool, y'all. Look at the pool. Where are they going to have the water day? You can't go out in that lake because that lake got alligators and all that kind of stuff and water moccasins. They can't go in that pool. That pool is dirty and nasty. The Environmental Protection Agency and the Health Department said that the water is unsafe. They got a warning letter. You don't believe me? Look at that. They got all those people there on the RV park living life like it's going to look at the gym. So my question is, are you still going? Are you still going? Do y'all know the cost for the youth camp before June 28th was $95. Up until July 7th is $125. And then if you come on site after July 7th, it's $150. $150? Oh my Lord, Jesus, have mercy. Look at this though, but you don't believe me. You don't believe me. See, y'all don't believe me. Y'all don't believe me. You see that letter right there? You see that letter right there? That is a letter from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to Anthony Pelt, Bishop, Church of God Youth and Retreat Center, dated May 15, 2025. And you see there's a 2-page letter. And you see that when you see attached to that letter, you will see that there are 9 pages of warnings and violations that they have with their water and sewer department. So that's why I asked the question, you still going? Are you going to still go and mount up? And don't forget the motel, which looks like a crack house, and all those has been run illegally. It was reported to me that somebody said they knew somebody that stayed paying rent at the motel for 2.5 years. Where's that money? But they can't do that. The code enforcement is fining them $100 a day because they're running the RV park in the motel and don't have a site, but they're not zoned for that. So since 2022, they've been getting fined $100 a day plus fees. Oh, yes, and still counting. Yes. That's from code enforcement of Lake County. So my question is, how are you going to have a water day youth camp with hundreds of kids coming there? And the water is unsafe to drink. How you going to have a bunch of kids coming there? Look at the pool. You're going to have water day. Look at the pool. How you going to come there? And you got a letter from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection with 9 pages. Now understand, 9 pages of warnings and violations, and they haven't responded because in the letter it tells them they have 7 days to respond. That letter was dated May 15th. 7 days to respond and set up a meeting with the inspector so they can go over all the things. A lift valve in the water station is broken. The chlorine minimum was not met. You gotta have those chemicals to keep the water safe, for all that kind of stuff. My question still is, are you still gonna send your child to the youth camp? Why isn't it canceled? Somebody gonna get poisoned by that bad water. Somebody gonna get sick. I know Demetrius Preston, the youth director, is having a work day, a cleanup day, on the 10th of July to get ready for the camp there on the 14th. Listen, you can throw all the trash away. They say there's furniture in the dumpster, there's trash all over the boat, all over the grounds, and you can clean all that up But dear hearts, that's just cosmetics. The water is bad. The sewage system doesn't work. How are you going to feed the children? How are you going to? You got to have water to cook. How are you going to? The kids going to shower. How are they going to brush their teeth? How are you going to have a water day? Listen, you all need to call the youth director. You need to call the state overseer, Anthony Pep. You need to call the executive officers in Cleveland. Ask for Gary Lewis. Ask for Tom Madden. And ask them, or call whoever you do, and find out and ask them, has the water situation, has the sewage and water violations, have they been rectified, inspected to make sure it's clean? Don't get up here talking about we just going to pray and believe God that my child don't get hurt. Don't sit up there and send your child in harm's way knowing that the water's not good. And here's another thing. If you do it despite me, or spite Dr. Ellis, or spite John Mazzella, John who's somebody else, you're not hurting us. We're trying to help you, saints. What can you say? What can you say? I don't know what to say. All I know is, are you still going? Listen, this little COG Equity Midcast was brought to you by buymeacoffee.com/RCTV Workbook, RCTV Network. Buy me a coffee. It's just so much. You can buy me one time, you can buy me every month, and that will help support this podcast. This is Pastor Robert. I'll see you next time right here on the COG Equity Podcast. Share this video. Let somebody know. Peace out.